in Laguna Niguel, where the temperature is
50.
I think it's 47.
47.
It's almost like being in
Whatever.
New York. But
46.
Not,
46.
Right. Oh, 46. Thank you, 46. So I'm sitting here with Bernie Trifoso, but actually, your official, what was your official, title? I guess title.
I was a pharmacist mate, first class pharmacist mate, and I was the only medic aboard this ship. And the ship that I was on was what's called a landing craft infantry large. It was 153 feet long, 50 feet wide, flat bottom. Okay, drew about 6 feet of water, traveled about 27 miles an hour on a calm sea. And a rough sea, we're doing about 6. Okay.
So this is all World War II, and you were there on D-Day, and you were in Okinawa and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I spent a lot of time working with Tom Brokaw in New York at NBC. He called you guys the Greatest Generation. What do you think when you hear that, and you hear people say that's what they call you?
Well, because I really, that's a title that that belongs to us, because that was the greatest generation. I saw guys who were committed to protect this country and fight for this country and give their lives, and many of them did. The only ones I really love and appreciate and admire are those guys that went down the ramps and went in and fought those German Nazis. Okay, I was a medic. My job primarily was to give first aid, but I was able to observe, and to me, those guys, when you think about it, I think we lost about 250,000 soldiers in World War II, and they were the real heroes, and I think the men, women, and the people during that time are the greatest generation. They pulled it off.
Well, I know that my father served in World War II, and he didn't tell me stories until he was on his deathbed about what really happened, because many of you guys were kind of silent about it. It was if you came home and you went out and you lived these lives, and you knew you'd been through horror. Did you do that?
Well, I didn't talk about it for many, many years. In fact, I really got into it here when I got to Laguna Niguel for some reason or other.
Because you are from New York.
I'm from New York, and I was visiting here, and I got talking to Jeff here, who was an Englishman, and he was there during D-Day and all that stuff, okay? And I absentmindedly told him that I was in Normandy, and he immediately told everybody in the group here, and all of a sudden I became a hero. Before you know it.
You were a hero, but all of a sudden, now you're a real hero, Bernie.
Then all of a sudden, I was in station here in 1943, and my first assignment was first aid school, okay? I was sent to San Diego, Coast Guard Air Station, and I was there maybe 2 or 3 months. You've got to tell you that. And from there, it's a long story. You said you only got 15 minutes.
Yeah, so
I'm concise and say, okay, then
Bernie, TV has or things are finite. That's
okay.
The only problem.
Okay, so to make a long story short, okay, I'm back here in California. My wife has Alzheimer's. My daughter convinced me I should bring her here for treatment, and I was doing it myself. And luckily, we got a really good place for her. I've been here 2.5 years, living my life the way I can live it. And as a result of it, I finally got, if you saw those videos, I finally went to San Diego and got to talk. For some reason or other, they found out that I was in Normandy, and immediately I gave a talk there, and I got to talk to admirals. Here I was, just a little old enlisted man, shaking hands with admiral, having dinner with admirals. I mean, it was a joke.
It was not a joke, because without just little old enlisted guys like you, who the heck would have fought the war?
That's
I mean,
right.
Come on.
All right.
So I'm fascinated by this picture. I don't know how close you can see this if I hold it up, but this is the day. This is like June 4th.
June 4th.
1944, right?
1944.
And this is a priest who's giving a blessing.
Wow.
You're in there somewhere.
He's saying mass.
Okay, you're in there somewhere,
I'm
but
in
this
there
is
somewhere.
the day before you guys know you're going to.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, no.
Who's that girl with you?
This was June 4th when we found out that Normandy was going to be June 5th, okay?
Right.
And the priests there had mass on the dock, and all these guys come off these ships.
Yep.
I was on the 94.
So you would have been this one right here.
Yeah, when I was in Okinawa, I was on the 94. When I was in the Normandy invasion, I was on the 325.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, like, what is going through what's going through your head?
First of all, you realize that your life's in danger. The majority, I'd say many of these guys lost their lives on June 6th because they were up front, they were at H hour, they were the first ones into the beach, and chances are they died somewhere along the way because there's a cemetery there in Normandy with 10,000 GIs are laying there now. They're still there. They can't come back because they're dead. All right, and you know, you talk about a socialist country. That is one of the main reasons why you'll never be a socialist country ever, because we had all of those guys gave their lives not
for
willingly,
democracy,
but they gave it.
not for capitalism.
And there was capitalism, and we were there to take care of the Nazis, the fascists, and so forth.
The white supremacists.
And you've got this is Jeff over here.
No,
Henry.
Henry. Who's like piping up
Yeah.
and say it because you were there too, right? Are you around then?
Another interview?
I wasn't even born.
I got my
Just give
story.
him a little grief, Bernie. All right. Okay, so I mean, I know you've got all these pictures. Like this is when you were at.
Yeah, this is here.
This is
My
the same one, kinda.
325, all
Yeah.
right? And we've got 200 soldiers on there, and we're approaching to go into the channel. As soon as we got into the channel, there were 5,400 ships, 12,000 airplanes, 175,000 men. I was one of the 175,000, okay? And we had all types of gear on. We had gas masks, we had impregnated clothing on, and I had my first aid back. I was going up for the ship. So basically, we're on our way to the channel, and I think I showed you a picture that Ernie Pyle took a picture of me.
Was that the big first one we had? I know we had it here
Yeah,
someplace.
right here,
so
right
here,
here.
this
Yeah,
one.
right here, right.
So Ernie Pyle.
Ernie Pyle, who's a famous
Writer. Journalist.
writer, okay, journalist.
Yeah.
And
journalist.
he took that picture, and there were our 24 ships. in our
Wow.
flotilla.
And this
We're
is
on our
and are
way-
these the guy? This is the whole landing crap. I mean, these are guys walking on shore, right
No,
here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way they would do it. They would go ashore.
Oh, it gives me goosebumps just looking at
You
it.
know
'Cause
what? You got to remember, we're on our way to Normandy, and you've got thousands of ships everywhere. You can look to the left and the right, nothing but ships, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, airplanes flying overhead. Then you had, finally, as you get closer and closer to Normandy, and the water, the waves are 5-6 feet high. All those 200 soldiers aboard my ship were seasick. They were thrown up all over the place. They had full packs on their back.
You're 8 minutes into it. You got plenty of time.
So we finally get to Normandy. I'm going to tell, there are 24 ships in my flotilla. And as we approach Normandy, we hit our orders. And 12 went to the left, and 12 went to the right. God put me on the ones who went to the right.
and to the right was Normandy. And
No, left was Normandy, right was Utah. And 4,000 guys lost their lives. And two of the guys I volunteered with, one was on the 88, one was on the 91. The 91, the 92, the 93, and the 85, the 200 soldiers were left right on the beach. Okay? I mean, I'm not going to go into the details, but it was pretty hectic. Luckily, we went to Utah, but Utah was just dead because the tide was in. And those guys, I love them to the day I die. I watched them go down the ramps on each side into the water, and they were seasick, and they had 60-pound packs on their back, and we had a tow line which ran to the beach, and they had to grab that tow line and they were floundering in the water.
Oh my!
And,
It's so stunning to me as I hear you recall this that was actually successful, because it sounds like the chances of disaster and of actually ending up with there being a real invasion and real success, it sounds like it was so
that close.
minute.
Right.
I mean, God bless us. Holy
And the
cow. Makes me want to cry.
Speak a little louder, Bernie.
Yeah, and the time you talk about dying, there I was 19 years old, and suddenly I realized I could die. And I get this warm feeling, and I got my first aid bag over my shoulder, and I'm watching all these guys moving off, and I'm thinking, well, this is it, because there was a Navy ship that hit a mine, okay, and there were guys floundering and drowning. So it was quite hectic, and luckily we managed to work our way off of it, got into the harbor, and we went back and forth. We got 200 soldiers time and time again. Okay.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to turn this off for a second because I want to move the camera up.
Okay.
So,
You want me to pitch end?
yeah. He's going to, I've got an assistant back here.
Okay.
Now a
Did
word
you
from
do
the
it?
sponsor.
Yeah. It
Okay.
just, well, now it's paused.
Oh,
And then on the
okay.
right it says end live video, but I didn't know what you wanted to do. It's paused.
Okay. Now if I say